arousing question of the hell are we gonna name this thing?
It's my favorite one.
Ephemera, transigence. Since the hell are we gonna name this thing?
It's my favorite one.
Volume still on. Sure, transigent is a word. Interesting. The other thing is some words this thing doesn't know. Synonyms. Vision. No. Keep coming to alteration no matter which direction I go. Maybe it's time to just find a new direction for this one.
Probably.
So, excuse me, if we're adding or subtracting, then we're adjusting. By truth, truth, slight stretch. Tangent. Okay, tangent, tangential. What's the word? So when you go off on a tangent, skirt, tour, 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 dictum. What's this? Interesting. Exaggerate. Hyperbole. Parabola. Parable. Hyperbolic. Something. Paraboloid. Seizure. A hyperbole. I think it's maybe just a little bit too much.
Yeah, that sounds like a big old mouthful.
Let's see. What's this? Amplification. I still think tangent was good.
What about reverberate?
It's a magic card.
Is it? God, of course it is.
Sucks, right? Tangent. Still stuck on tangent. Something that's very close. Speaking, actually.
Murmur.
It's a communication disorder which the train of thought of the speaker wanders and shows a lack of focus, never to the initial topic of conversation.
What word was that?
Tangential speech. Severe than logarithmic. May be associated with the middle stage and dimension. It is, however, more severe than circumstantial speech. Small minority of to remember, so losing the ability to speak is not effective. Speech. Thought. Tangent. A tangent. So I want to find something that. Oh, okay, it's on thesaurus.com.
This is it, boys.
Very different. Veer. Interesting. Uh, Contrast, deflect, digress, digress. Swerve, drift, air. Swerve. Drift. Shift. Swerve. Skirt. Circle. Vert. Fend off, bypass, shun, sidestep. Grips. diffuse. Snake. Seizure.
Contiguous. Interpolation.
Then
Position.
streaming. Is it not change?
Influx.
Should have changed.
It didn't. I just noticed that it totally didn't. Let's double check. Okay, it did. It did change.
7 viewers.
I got 9. Yeah.
Star.
And again, this is probably going to be the most boring stuff that we do.
Yeah.
Is naming.
Yeah, sorry.
I know you guys aren't really saying much. If you have anything to say at all, I mean, if you have any suggestions for words or anything at all, there's nothing wrong with letting us know or sharing them.
Save us.
Yeah, clearly we're pretty stuck right now.
Ooh. It's getting to the point where I almost want to create a word. Getting there.
Yeah. Well, apparently I'm not logged in.
Chat, none. Which ability are we on? Tunnel Kings asks. Well, Tunnel Kings, we are on rank 5. Is a passive. Whenever you would attack on your turn or cast an active ability during an enemy or ally's turn, you possesses at least 1 echo stack. Gains 1 echo stack.
Previously, we've named our 1 Parable, rank 2, Litany, rank 3, Revel, and rank 4. Man, I want to pronounce that word, but I know I'm going to do it wrong.
Seizura.
Yes, Azura.
Right now we're looking for a noun around 1 or 2 syllables that describes a change, a tangent, or an extrapolation. Extrapolation. To find something that can communicate adding or subtracting echo stacks. It's an adjustment of sorts. I have myself back on coil now.
Yeah, I was there earlier. Helix coil.
Breed. Spiral. Whirl. Throwing us for a loop. Mat. Nexus. Contortion. Might have to open up the chat as a way to close it accidentally. Get rid of it. Making an arrow in, back out to chat back.
Yeah, that's what I just sent.
Sneak into Gyre.
Roll Gyre. Like the way that sounds.
Circle. That works for me. Parable litany ravel caesura gyre. Perhaps it's pronounced gyre.
Gyre.
It is pronounced gyre.
Voice is saying
Gyre.
it's also my favorite feature. One of my favorite features of this word, and just have it say it to you.
Gyre.
That's the voice I want to hear in my dreams.
Gyre.
Gyre.
Gyre. So fresh to completely understand happened. That's when I was getting in. I don't know if gyre is like best word here.
It's a good holder.
It's a good holder. Yeah.
I must be having problems with chat too.
Parable litany caesura gyre. It's like it's a little bit too actiony.
But it's actually in the sense that something's always happening.
Yeah. Branch. Is one syllable. It does kind of fit.
It's very smooth.
It's an ability name for sure. And like technically, we could just be happy and be, yeah, okay, John.
No.
Just kind of wonder, like.
I mean, the more you dwell on it, the more you're gonna hate it. So I would just let it go for now, and come back to it later, instead of being stuck on it for about an hour.
True. It's about it.
Yeah.
But we're getting through it steadily. Okay, so let's see what we've said about the class so far with these abilities. He's someone who likes to tell stories. Parable. Ravel is the first time where
It's deliberate. Maybe not really deliberate. There was thought behind it.
Something which gives pause. Gyre's a circle. So to a point, knows what he can do. agency over.
He understands his abilities a little bit, or his ability.
So it's 2 targets. Both targets gain echo 1. Stacks tick down together. Additionally, you may have linked targets in the same row gain stacks at the beginning instead of 2 instead of echo. It's inactive. Let's consider king 2 targets. This is something like
Yeah, or weaving.
tick. Interesting. Never seen this word before. Clepsydra.
Clepsydra.
Sidra.
Clepsydra.
Makes me think of
Sidra.
stealing.
Yeah, Clepsydra. There's one more that I hadn't seen.
Gnomon.
Pillar that tells time by the shadow it casts, especially on a sundial. Cerns. See Gnostic. Interesting. It's that Gnostic was related to time. Interesting. See, this is the kind of thing where it's really nice to have thesaurus.com. You can find the root words and you can create references which are very, very, very abstract or subtle between words, between concepts, stuff that probably 0.01% just might.
Yeah.
Looking at this thesaurus or be English major with way too much time on their hands. It's 2 targets. Join ball. Loop. For an ability, but I like concept. Coil. Circumference wreath. back. Come full circle. Two things that are connected. Tandem. Tandem. Is to start. That'd be kind of cool. So I think I have the ability name for rank 6.
What'd you come up with?
Well, it's gonna look like a typo, I think. But
I mean,
so
kind
that,
of how like Manticores did.
yeah. Yes. Because of how that's pronounced. But what I'm combining is the word condemn with tandem for tandem,
Tandem.
which should carry both meanings. Not sure if people get it. Just think that it's a typo, but
They'll probably just think it's a typo. Or just it's a weird spelling on the word tandem.
this is your guide. Kind of like the idea. Don't. It's particular.
The best choice.
I mean, I'm attached to it because I like playing, but
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying it's bad.
no, yeah, I think probably a
Combination.
string sect. Sect. Duo. Dot. Something to tick down faster.
Dwindle.
No. This needs to be a story in some way. Two pages. Two pages in a book at a time. Page. Side. There. Two-sided. No parallel would sort of work. Let's go there. Parallel. Can similar. Zero Geyer. See, like this would be another chance where you could do something like parallel,
Yeah.
generally, because of how parallel is spelled. Makes sense.
But the combination of words does make sense. Uh-oh,
Just doesn't work. This does.
Yeah.
Similar. I'm trying to think of like how you would present the idea of two pages next to one another. Who's in here? Tis two of us. Yeah, who else?
Looks like we've got Faith, Ochre Jam, Sky 3, the Corwegian, Tunnel Kings. That's what I'm seeing right now.
Well, welcome all who are still here. Apologies that this is the
Absolute most boring thing on in
yeah,
a while.
the slow stream.
Yeah, slow is more accurate. It's not really boring. Well, at least not for me.
We're not making a ton of progress at the moment, but uh yeah, I think the issue with this is that it's hard to speak about it while you're so
Yeah.
what we're trying to do right now is take the idea of an ability that affects two targets and translate it into something that is either literarily related to the sort of theme of our ability names or chronologically related, and hopefully both. Um, I can't seem to get there. Simile is close though. Parable, litany, seizure, gyre, simile.
Simile.
Yes.
Why simile?
It's a metaphor, but less direct. In other words, a simile is like a metaphor.
Well, yeah, it's almost like we're naming a skill a metaphor for metaphor.
I think the idea of what a simile is happens to work for we need. It also carries the idea of facsimile, clone or a duplicate.
That's a good point.
Uh, it's not him, but
No, it's not.
I think it will do, and it works pretty well with lists so far. So you should have got simile. I also think that the kind of person who would play a Writsmith will respond well to the name so far.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
It's important that you fit the names to the play as well as the character. Okay, so rank 7 is the past self ability. It's already got paradox as its second part. So there are lots of you. What do you call that in writing?
What do you call Lazio in writing?
Duplicating, sing.
It's crap. Oh man, what is that called? I need plagiarism comes to mind.
Let's look at that. Spelled it.
Yeah, I could never spell that word even if I tried.
Specification.
Legion. Tunnel Kings Legion.
Legion. All right, let's go from Legion.
We
Tunnel
are many.
Snake. Myriad, sundry, numberless, populous, multitudinous, very many.
Very many. Is that proper?
Most number. So we're cloud. That the cloud from before is popping.
Hmm.
So veil, below. All of these words are great for combining words. Veil's great for billow's great for cloud. Thank you, by the way, Tunnel Kings. I don't know if I said that. This has got our brains churning. Dismay, dispirit, crowd, herd, horde, stream, surge. Trying to either, I want to connect it to time in some way, or connect it to some way. I like to get the idea, still kind of connect, get the idea of pages turning.
Hmm.
Know how to do that though? With one word. Pages. Words on a page.
Script. Transcribe.
Something that indelible. Indelible. keep coming back to the word ephemeral, and there's no real way to make it an active word. Ephemerance doesn't work super well. It's a descriptor of something has rather than the action of making something ephemeral, which is short lasting, purposefully short lived. A magazine might be an example of then getting there because I was thinking about indelible pencil, ink in general. So we had put ink as an idea into the kit yet. There's no word for legion of ink. It's a page.
Ephemerate him.
Yeah, good point. Tell us, ephemerate. Definitely doesn't sound good.
It's really super close to exterminate.
Shade. Contract. Contract. It's an
Conscript.
interesting idea. Maybe these guys are. I like the. It would be cool to make an ability called Ink Marrow. Sounds work well. I think it works for this class because it's a bit too morbid.
Yeah.
It's close. The cloud. Spare some mass host or doing. Welcome back, Walker Jam. Pull my headphones out. Good. Volume. Figure quantity total. This is a book. Tome. personal account is a biography. Biography. Saga. Which class and skill are you working on? You are working Writsmith, 7th ability. Summon past selves. I think that I want the first part of the ability's name to be ink, followed by the 1-2 syllable word that gets across the idea of
What about union?
union.
Yeah.
Usually it works better if the words can't flow together perfectly. Like they flow well, but like union, for example, looks like its own word. Generally it's better if, like, you know how I had tandem for a second
Yeah.
and I was considering parallel. Those work somewhat, but it's better if you do something like sever, is then the words can separate and then come together in a person's mind. Explaining that exactly.
No, I understand what you're saying. Ink union makes sense. Ink union doesn't make sense.
Even though it sounds like a word.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more interested in it as well if ink spelled with a K. Because Incunion could be its own word.
Like ink as an incorporated?
Yes. As if ink weren't spelled with a K, spelled INC,
Then
that'd be
spell it
something
that way.
I'd be more receptive. No, because then you lose the ink. That's the issue. I'm looking at really trying to come up with the idea of just many pages. A history of something. Just this voluminous tome. Maybe past is what I want. Past. Interior. Ago. I'll take a look at the skill docs and see if I have any suggestions. Thank you. Looking for something like Ink Pharaoh or something. Myth. Go back to myth.
What about never mind. Ink fable, maybe?
It's not. We want a word that sounds. want a word that sounds like it flows out of the word ink, rather than a just on its own. It's sort of contradicting what I said earlier about,
So chronicle.
well, Chronicle works on its own. Like Ink Chronicle could just be Ink space Chronicle. What we're looking for is something that doesn't quite carry enough on its own, suggests something further. Like billow, for example, is not a word that everyone necessarily, so it would flow out from ink and give you an impression of something, the sound, rather than being something that you just know outright, I suppose. It's hard to put that in. One of the reasons I'm not using the word is because it sounds like, what's the word? It sounds kind of like you're lisping. Say inkmith.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even perfectly work either. It should be something that's like two syllables.
Myriad. Oh, that's 3 syllables.
Very ink chronicle. Yeah, we looked through those. The issue is that those words on their own don't. If we've already got the word parable, I think that's doing the job that those two words would do. What I'm looking to do is expand upon the idea of something later on, and to give the idea that he's gone through a volume of work. That volume of work is representative of his past selves in some way. And hopefully to tie in lying as well. Go back to lying. Ink. I want ink to be the
Inklinks.
uh, inklings. That would be a good creature.
Okay, there we go. Saved it. Did it. Some kind of weird. Yeah, no way.
Weird biography explores possibilities of different selves. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's kind of what we're we're trying to get to. Yeah.
I think the problem is the way the ink ends. It ends harsh with a K, so it's not really allowing us to flow into other words the way you want it to.
Well, if you all right, so here you could use something like well, because then you're tying into the I sound that starts it.
Mm.
Even if it's ending, it ends hard enough that you can put something soft behind. The issue is finding a word that fits the meaning, because we could do something like ink, but it doesn't make sense. Like the word inkwell in general works because of the two soft sounds and the soft L's at the end. mm, uh, of the letters that I think can come after ink, W, like inkrit would be great. Originally, we already Writsmith.
Yeah.
So W would work. T doesn't. L does. Basically all the soft consonants.
What about rhyme?
H, Y, R, I, M, E.
Yes.
The R does.
Oh
Hardly
yeah.
listening, just typing something about vellum. Vellum is a word. Skin. So we had marrow earlier, so I guess M works. That's kind of the marrow is to so the skin has to relate to paper in some way.
Hmm.
Skin. So let's go from there. Remove. Maybe we should be looking at binding. Something with essence. Spine of the book. You should be looking at the anatomy of a book. Of a
Ink index.
I don't addition of the I sound immediately. It would have to be two words. Like the difference between starting a word with I and having I within the next word is actually measurable. To find out what is made.
Time to
Search.
learn.
God, this kills my computer.
Ink crust.
ink bind.
But I almost like bound better than bind.
The um the issue with ink bound is it sounds nounish.
Yeah.
It sounds like a passive, whereas ink bind is more directly action based. Kind of like I like when you get a word that could have similar sounds except for the consonants, or sorry, the vowels are pronounced differently. Consonants are pronounced differently at different parts of the word.
Mm.
I don't think that's exactly what it's going to be. Smirk. It's really
Hmm.
good.
I like that a lot.
Well, well, something. I don't. So if we're going with quill, not sure. Quillbound would work, but I wonder if there's a way to make it shorter.